Hello, I'm Hannah Lee, and this is my oral defense presentation of my extended essay about gamification. First, I will start with an introduction to my study. The category of my extended essay is World Studies, which means I have to explain using knowledge from the two subjects, history and psychology. The topic I'll be researching is gamification in education, and my thesis is the following. Through an examination of the integration of gamification in educational settings, this study explores the impact on cognitive development and academic achievements among high school students in Korea and Finland, drawing insights from historical context and psychological theories. Now, I will discuss the background of my research. I will talk about the rationale behind my topic selection and the purpose of my research. In the wake of the COVID 19 pandemic, the global education landscape experienced an unprecedented shift towards the digital. With traditional classroom settings disrupted, educational institutions worldwide turned to digital tools such as YouTube, Google Classrooms, Zoom, and various online platforms to facilitate learning. This accelerated digitalization has not only transformed the way education is delivered, but has also highlighted the need for innovative approaches to engage students in remote learning environments. Amidst this digital revolution, gamification has emerged as a promising strategy to enhance student engagement and learning outcomes. Gamification involves the integration of game design elements and mechanics into non game contexts such as educational content, with the aim of making learning more interactive, enjoyable, and effective. By leveraging principles of motivation, competition, and rewards commonly found in games, gamification seeks to foster intrinsic motivation and enhance the learning experience. Against this backdrop, my research seeks to investigate the effectiveness of gamification in educational settings and its potential as a replacement or supplement to traditional offline resources. Specifically, the study aims to explore how the incorporation of gamified elements in educational content influences cognitive abilities and academic performance among high school students in Korea and Finland. By examining the impact of gamification within the context of two distinct educational systems, the research will provide valuable insight into the cultural, historical, and psychological factors that shape the effectiveness of gamified learning approaches. Furthermore, the research will contribute to ongoing discussions surrounding the future of education in an increasingly digital world. By assessing the efficacy of gamification as a tool for enhancing student engagement and learning outcomes, the findings of this study may inform the development of more effective educational strategies tailored to the needs of today's digitally native generation. So, the following is my personal motivation for this topic selection. Have you ever heard of the uneven playing field? The Korean term 기울어진 운동장, or uneven playing field, is a satirical metaphor positing that individuals start from a different baseline levels of advantage or disadvantage in various aspects of life. This idea acknowledges the factors such as socioeconomic status, cultural background, and individual abilities can create disparities in educational opportunities and outcomes. This is observed in the illustration by Tang Myung-jin on the left-hand side of this slide, as well as the image on the lower right corner, where the fact that it is clearly much more probable that the players from the upper part of the slanted court score more than the players from the lower side. This is fundamentally unfair, which would result in the victory of the upper side due to the inevitable environmental factor, the slant. So, in connection to this term, I considered its relevance to education, which is a topic that I'm interested in. It was that e learning is an excellent source for numerical data on your study progress, such as the time you spent on learning a material, your understanding on a topic, and so much more. This is shown in examples such as Khan Academy Individual Unit Progress Report for 5th grade math on the right hand side, where you can clearly see in which units you are struggling and which units your understanding is sufficient. Also, Duolingo provides XP for your work in progress as well as providing you with your placement in the users, successfully implementing gamification to engage and motivate users to learn new languages. Likewise, gamification in e learning can provide you with clear information about where you are in your educational roadmap and guide you with what you need to do next with just a few clicks. So this is why I thought e-learning and gamification in education could be a solution to one of the biggest problems in education. As you all know, we are all different in the way we learn, the time we take to learn something, the resources and tools that work best for us. But the educational content has no room for such differences. So we need to focus on the how instead, the methodology. But if we can use these aforementioned aspects of e learning and implement it to current education to help students maximize their potential, it can contribute to resolving educational inequality. So, next, I will discuss the main points of my extended essay looking into the approaches of my sources. Overall, the study implements a comparative analysis of South Korea and Finland. These two countries are renowned for their advanced educational systems and high performance in international assessments such as the PISA, which stands for Program for International Student Assessment Test. And the goal is to investigate the impact of gamification in educational settings within these unique contexts of these two nations, considering their historical, cultural, and pedagogical differences. The following is the plan for this extended essay. So, first, I will do a literature review because I need an extensive review of the existing literature on the topics that I'll be discussing, which includes gamification in education, cognitive development, and academic performance. And also, I will have to look into the theoretical frameworks from psychology and educational theory. And then I'll do the country study. So, I will have to look into the history of educational practices done in South Korea and Finland in order to construct a comparative analysis later on. And then I'll work on the data collection. So, I'll have to look into surveys and interviews to gain insights from students, teachers, and educational experts in both countries and academic performance data and student feedback on gamified learning interventions. And then I will work on the comparative analysis. I will look into the similarities and differences in the implementation and impact of gamification in educational settings between South Korea and Finland. And I will have to look into historical, cultural, and pedagogical factors influencing these differences. And I'll and then I'll work on the conclusion, which includes a synthesis of findings and their implications for educational practice and policy, and optimizing the use of gamification in diverse educational contexts. So finally, I will talk about what methods I will take to meet deadlines for the essay. So first of all, from April to May, I'll have to work on the EE Cafe, on the oral defense, and I'll have to meet up with my supervisor to get a progress check. So I'll continue working on my outline. And then by June, I'll have to have done 50 to 75% of my whole essay. And then I'll also prepare meetings for the check in supervisor meetings that I'll have regarding my essay. And then I will have to work on my essay during the summer break from June to September, so that I can submit my 4,000 word full draft by September. And then I'll meet up with my supervisor, get peer feedback, and then I'll have submit the final draft by October. So that was it for my oral defense. Thank you for listening. If you have any questions, please email me, and I will attach the link to my EE outline, which is in progress, to this slide. Thank you again for listening.